a couple years ago, I hired a marketing team that taught me amazing things about my business. I was with them for a year. They coached me, they helped me create content, they taught me how to do things, and it was amazing. But it got a little overwhelming after a while because I was working, seeing clients, speaking, and doing all these things that didn't give me enough time to create the content and spend the time to do the work. So I decided to take a break and continue to do the things that I was doing until I organized my business a little better and I was able to go back to them because they're amazing. So fast forward a year, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm ready for them to do all the work. I decided to hire them again so that they could take care of the marketing and everything having to do with my business and sales and all my services. And I went to them and I told them, okay, I'm here so that you can make my life easier and you can do the work because it's become overwhelming again and you know how to do it. You know my business, so we don't have to worry about that. And he said, okay, let's do it. And in the next meeting, he comes up with a list of things he wants me to do to create content. And I'm like, this guy didn't get the memo. I want him to do the work. And I told him, like, you're asking me to do more than I was already doing. And I came to you so that you could do the work. And I was so overwhelmed and frustrated that I left that meeting upset and not knowing what to do because I had already paid him, my retainer. And I realized that I am just like my clients. I get a lot of couples that come to my practice and they come with the idea of bringing their spouse so that I can fix the spouse, so that Betsy can do the work. So here, let's do therapy so that you can change my husband or my wife. And then I break it to them that they have to do the work to create that fulfilling relationship. And they don't like it. Just how I didn't like that my marketing guy was telling me, oh, by the way, you have to create content and you have to do these videos and you have to. And that's what we do. We want the best of the best, but we don't want to work for it. And guess what? The best of the best only comes with pain and struggles and hard work. And I know that firsthand. I am married to the sexiest man on earth, and we have the most amazing relationship. I annoy the heck out of him, yes, but we're amazing together. We adore each other. In fact, I have a cousin that came to visit me, and we were going through a tough time in our family, so she came to support me. And by the end of her 1 week stay, she tells me, you know, Betsy, you guys are a Facebook couple. I'm like, what is that? What is a Facebook couple? You know, in Facebook, everybody's happy, and you know, you look at the pictures of the family and you're like, oh my goodness, these are the happiest people ever. They have no issues. Well, you truly are a Facebook couple. And that was the most beautiful compliment I have ever received. But guess what? I've worked hard for this. Every day I wake up and I think, what can I do to make my husband happy? He wakes up and he thinks the same thing. And yes, sometimes you're not both on the same page. You're working to make your spouse happy and your spouse is working to make himself or herself happy. So then I know sometimes it's not as even and perfect as I'm making it sound. So during those times, you have the power to do the work, the 100% of the work yourself for some time. No expectations, you just do the right thing. You cater to your spouse, you love your spouse, you do things that please him or her. You're constantly trying to make him happy because guess what? That's why we got married. Society says we got married to be happy. BS. We got married to make the other person happy. But yes, sometimes the other person didn't get married to make us happy, but we can model for that person what that looks like. My husband and I have fallen in and out of love in 15 years a couple times. And the main one was almost 10 years ago. And he sat me down and had a heart-to-heart conversation and told me, you know, I don't like you. I don't like being around you. He pretty much told me, I'm not in love with you anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? What's there not to love about me, right? I was humiliated. I was in pain. I never imagined myself in that position. It was so harsh. But I don't believe in divorce. So I knew I had two options. Either I live miserably for the rest of my life, or I do something to get him to fall back in love with me. And that's what I chose. The next day, I wrote a little note and I put it in his wallet and I asked, what can I do to make you happy? And that day I did his favorite food. I cooked his favorite food. The next day I made sure that everything was picked up the way he likes it. I acted with my daughter the way he wanted me to act, because I was a little psycho as a mom and too hands-on, and he was more laid back. So I started doing things the way he wanted me to do them. And of course, changing those things in myself made me better. They didn't interfere with me becoming the best version of myself. So it was okay for me to change them. And before you knew it, forget butterflies. We had fireworks, the Disney kind of fireworks, like the real deal. I decided that I was gonna humble myself almost to the point of humiliation, because I was like, what do you mean you're not in love with me? And do what I needed to do. So stop waiting as a victim for your spouse to do the change, for your spouse to realize that you're right and he's wrong or she's wrong. Stop waiting and do something about it. Create the relationship that you want so badly. Work to be able to attain it, because guess what? You know how to do this. Why does it have to be different with relationships? Work on the relationship that you want. Start acting as if you already had that relationship, and give your spouse the love, the kindness, the devotion and dedication that you one day hope to give him or her naturally.